everybody, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for finding some time in the middle of this busy season to tune in. I promise I won't take long, but I have a short thought I wanted to share as we close out a year and kick off a brand new one that's brimming with possibilities and the chance to keep creating a better future for our world. If you've been around Revision for any length of time, you probably already know I'm a bit of a Scrooge when it comes to Christmas music. I just can't do it. Like, I tolerate it in December, but I never pick it. And all that is to say, a couple days before we recorded this, as we were getting ready for Christmas Eve services at Revision, I was listening to 90s music on Spotify because that's just more my speed. And Joan Osborne's song, One of Us, shuffled on. And for those of you who didn't grow up in the 90s, the basic premise of the song is this question: what if God was one of us? What would he be like? What if God was one of us, just a stranger on a bus trying to make his way home? I feel like that's a universal human question, isn't it? It's one people have been asking for as long as there have been people. We look out at a world that points us to something more and someone bigger, and we can't help but wonder, like, if there's a God up there, what is he like? And does he know what it's like to be me? And would he like me? And it hit me because I was listening to this during the Christmas season. Christmas is God's incredible, powerful answer to all those questions. I love the way the Apostle John puts it right at the start of his account of Jesus' life. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. You guys, God was one of us. He knit himself into the human story in order to make the Creator visible to all creation and to take the guesswork out of God. He didn't just send a prophet like every other religion in the world to explain to us in human words what God is like. Instead, he became one of us to show what God is like. And I think it's so cool that Jesus didn't just demonstrate what God is like, he demonstrated whom God likes. He showed up with love and compassion and ultimately self-sacrifice for the sake of every human soul that crossed his path. And that makes sense to all of us who know anything of the Jesus story. We're like, of course he did that. He's Jesus. But it was radical in the first century. Like, nobody could understand what he was doing because they looked at those people and they're like, God couldn't possibly like those people. And so, maybe you're here today and you're skeptical about faith. You're watching this just because someone started playing it on YouTube and you felt like it would be rude to walk away. But wherever you're at on your faith journey, you gotta understand, all of us gotta understand, Jesus caring about the poor and the outcasts and the downtrodden, Jesus loving everybody, is like a uniquely Christian idea in the history of the world. The idea that God is love and he loves everybody, no one had ever said that before or heard that before. And these days, everyone in our society is pretty sure, like, if there is a God, he definitely loves everybody. But Jesus was the first person in the history of the world to show up and say that. And he didn't just say it, he showed it. And it redirected the future of humanity when he did. To the point that now we just assume it. But we only assume God loves everyone because it's built on the character of Jesus when he walked this earth and turned everything completely upside down. And sometimes, at least if you're anything like me, his story is so familiar that we forget how shocking it would have been to meet him face to face. Whether you were powerful or lowly, it just would have blown your mind. Because Jesus elevated the dignity of every person he met. He showed grace rather than giving people what they deserved. He acted like compassion is an expression of strength, not weakness. And like humble self-sacrifice is greatness. Jesus constantly went out of his way to declare the value of people society said had no value. And he gave his life away to add value to all people. And in the process, like this one guy who never wrote a book, never commanded an army, never held a political office, like he completely changed the world. All right, so here's my thought and my challenge for 2025. What if we decided we're going to step into a new year with the goal of living and loving like Jesus? What if 2025 was the year we walked in his footsteps more than ever? I have friends who pick a word or a theme for every year as sort of a goal that they can aim toward and organize their lives around. And what if we decided our word for 2025 is self-sacrifice. And maybe that's 2 words. I don't know how the math officially works on hyphenated words. I might be cheating here. But what would happen, even if just our community, like just the people watching this video, organized our lives around living self-sacrificially in the year ahead? Like spending our time, our talent, and our treasure to lift up those around us and add value to every life we crash into. I think it would not only make a difference for all the people like out there that we interact with in 2025, I think it would profoundly change us, like from the inside out. Because when Jesus showed up, he didn't just demonstrate what God is like, he demonstrated what we were dreamed up, knit together, and put here to live like. And if we step into that, as we step into the created, creative, future-generating, people-uplifting purpose for which we were made, we begin to live more fully alive. So let's do it. I even have a really simple next step to get you started and get the year rolling in the right direction. Click on the link in your email or on Revision social media or the Revision website for Reach Des Moines. Usually we cancel our services and serve the city with various nonprofits on the 5th Sunday of the month. And we can't make that work this month because it's the holiday season. But there are 6 really simple things you can do. And you can pick 1 or 2 or do all 6 to simply show love to the people around you and uplift them. Add dignity to their lives. It is a great place to start with all these Reach Des Moines tasks. And we got to start somewhere, right? Because as the great philosopher Lao Tzu once said, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. What if God was one of us? He was. And he showed us what he's like and whom he likes. And the more we live and love like him, the more beauty we add to our lives and our world. So let's do it in 2025. God bless you guys.